Live, we're live.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the 6 a.m. Swingers Club Kettlebell Training with your host, Sensei David Hills, and I am Kendra McLaughlin, and we are here to teach you how to work out with a kettlebell. How exciting is that? Happy Monday. It's Monday, the start of a new week. I hope everybody had a fantastic weekend. It was Father's Day. We had a really, really nice weekend. The weather here in the state of Maine in the USA
Couldn't be better.
fantastic. Gosh, what a beautiful weekend. It's a little cloudy today, but actually I'm kind of looking forward to a little break from the sun. We've had a lot of sun in the past few days. And it is the start of a new week this week, and hoping we're setting our intentions for everybody to have a wonderful week this week. And it's going to start this morning with our kettlebell workout. You know, one of the things I've noticed is I'm actually seeing a really big difference in my core. It's really thinning up. I didn't do actual measurements, but you can do that. If you wanted to start the kettlebell workout sessions, go ahead and take measurements, take your weight, that type of thing. And take photos. It is really interesting to see the difference in how your body changes over time with these particular workouts. So
yeah, you'll notice a big difference in your muscle tone in your body because of the amount of time under tension that you have with kettlebell. It's one of those things that you'll get a boost in muscle tone very, very quickly.
I just want to say good morning to everyone who is tuning in this morning. We're so happy to have you here, and we're happy to have your support. And we are looking forward to having you get the same benefits that we're getting out of this kettlebell workout. So what are we working on today, David?
Today we're going to work on the Turkish Getup, and we're going to work on it throughout the week because it's a very involved exercise. There's actually quite a lot to it. Depending upon how you count, there's between 7 and 10 pieces to it. And we're going to work on the half getup today. It's really the Turkish Getup. If you were to use just two exercises in kettlebell, the swing and the getup would be one of them. My program when I had my physical school, my brick and mortar school, my program was called Get Up and Swing, because those were the two main pieces of this. So what's really interesting, I mean, there's a lot of interesting things about the Turkish Getup. There's it's a whole body workout in one. And it starts out, it's like no other weightlifting exercise you've ever done. It starts out lying on your back on the ground with the weight. And it mimics the process that the human body goes through when a baby, when you're through your development. A baby starts out lying on his back, and in order to go from lying down on your back to standing, the body has to go through some developmental steps, and the order of muscular development of the body that's necessary to be able to stand are mimicked with this exercise. So it works the body in the way that it develops. This is one of the really important reasons why it's such a useful exercise. It really does develop the body in a very, very appropriate fashion. So let's take a look at it. What we're going to do is we're going to start this with without using the weight. What we're going to do is we're going to start on the ground, and if you can check the cameras to make sure they can see. So we start from this position. And instead of using a weight, I'm going to use a shoe. And what I want you to do is I want you to start by placing the shoe on your fist like so. Now, this isn't the standing up part, but this is important. So the first motion that you need to be able to do is with my elbow on the ground, if I rotate my forearm. Now, if you'll notice that my elbow doesn't move at all. Once I've got that, I'm going to press the shoe with this one up into the air, and I'm going to seat my shoulder. Now, If I seat my shoulder, then when I rotate the shoe, my upper arm doesn't move. So take your other hand and place it on your upper arm and rotate the shoe in the same fashion. If I don't seat my shoulder properly, then the upper arm will rotate as I rotate the shoe. So Kendra's going to do this, and I'm going to watch. All right. You can do it with either arm. It's just fine.
Forget your left-handed, so.
So take your left hand and grab a hold of your upper arm. Now rotate the shoe without letting. Yeah. So lock it up. Fire the tricep all the way so that it locks it completely. Good. Now do the rotation. That's it. Nice. If your shoulder is fired. Now go back and put your arm back up. One thing that you can do is you can have another person put a little bit of pressure here. What happens is if your elbow is bent, bend your elbow just a little bit. If your elbow is bent, when I put pressure, you'll feel how your elbow wants to bend. If it's locked, and when I put pressure, all it does is put pressure right through your arm. Now, exactly. Now the other thing is that if the shoulder is up off the ground, you won't feel the weight. If it's down, weight, or if I pull down here, you'll feel the weight exit right through your shoulder. This is important. This is key. It's very difficult to feel with just a shoe or a very lightweight. Straighten your wrist a little bit so that the line actually goes right through the pinky into the ground. Yep. If the wrist is not straight, then when I push, you won't feel the same. You'll feel it actually put pressure on your wrist. There it is. This point here, the point at the end of the pinky knuckle, that's the point of rotation. That's the axis of rotation. Yep. There's a lot to think about, really.
And I hope you guys can see this well, but the other difficulty is for me doing this is locking your elbow.
Yeah.
I thought I had my elbow locked, but I didn't because you finished locking it. So that takes practice too, because we're not used to locking our.
It's true.
We're not used to doing that, and what we think is straight and locked sometimes is not. So.
Exactly, and this, when you put the weight on there, it points it out in very, very, very clearly points out what is locked and what isn't. Okay.
So what do we do next?
So the next thing you're going to do, once you've got your arm locked, your shoulders seated, right? I'm going to take the other arm and I'm going to put it at 45 degrees. So in other words, it's not going to be lined up with my body and it's not going to be out at 90 degrees. It's going to be halfway. Once I've positioned my arm properly, I'm going to take the leg, whatever hand I have the weight in, I'm going to take that leg and I'm going to bend the knee and place my foot on the ground. What it is that I'm going to push into this foot and it's going to start to roll my body. I'm going to keep this weight pointed straight for the sky. It's like I'm punching towards the ceiling. I don't want it to go in any direction other than straight up. I'm going to push into this foot and roll my body to one side, such that there's a straight line from the weight all the way down through my shoulder into the opposite shoulder and into the ground.
So that would be the next step.
Exactly. That's the next step in this move. So you're just going to push to here and then slowly come back. Do this with control.
How far apart should your legs be?
Not very. They can be maybe shoulder width. Definitely don't have them wide.
Okay.
Just bring it up very close.
Yep.
Set it down.
And this is moving this is using the core.
This is using the strength of my leg here to push into the ground to roll my body to the side.
Okay.
You know, just think about, you know, if I'm like a little baby and I want the very first thing that they learn how to do, right? Pick up their head, and then they use one leg to push and roll themselves over. So that's one of the first developmental pieces is using the muscles of the leg. You have to stabilize your core in order to do it. Otherwise, you push into the leg and everything moves.
Plus you have to use your core to keep.
Yeah, you have to keep the shoulders seated. All the stuff that we did for the first part, keeping the shoulders seated and the elbow locked, has to be maintained as we do this. So you can't, this is one of the things about the Turkish Getup is that you learn a piece and then you have to maintain that while you do the next piece. So,
Okay. So I have my,
have your elbow locked, shoulder to the ground. So, yeah, shoulder seated, push into the ground, and I can push down here, and you can feel. There you go. Nice. Excellent. Good. Now, exactly. If you're not getting your elbow locked all the way, it's the firing of your tricep that makes it lock. Feel it? And now pull it down, lock it into your shoulder. Good. Now there's your balance point. Now, this hand is going to be flat on the ground halfway. Bring up your left leg. You're going to push into your left leg and roll to your right shoulder, keeping your eyes on the weight. Nice. Very good. And the same thing, if I push down here, you should feel the force exit the bottom shoulder. And now allow it to come back. And just do this exercise with control a little bit. It's not easy. This is sort of one of my friends, a trainer, physical therapist, also a black belt, named Pat Nelson. He's the one that showed me about doing this with a shoe as a way to teach this exercise, and it's a very good one. If you can do it this way with the shoe, then you can sort of, the way he describes it, earn the right to do this with a kettlebell. All right, we're going to do one more piece. Kettlebell up in the air. I've got my elbow locked. I've got my shoulders seated. Hand is positioned properly. I bring the leg up. I press into the leg and I roll to the opposite shoulder. Now I'm going to fire my abdominal muscles and psoas, which is the deep muscle on the. It actually starts at the front of the spine and goes through to the leg. That's the next muscle I have to fire, and I'm going to roll up to the elbow on this arm, such that the weight of the kettlebell now goes into the opposite elbow, and I've built it up a little bit higher. And I drop down to my shoulder and back to my back. So I push into the leg, and then use my core. I'm driving my energy into the opposite elbow, and I come up this far. And slowly back down. Now, it's important to keep your eyes on the weight, in this case, on the shoe. Leg, roll to the shoulder. shoulder. Now fire the core and push into the elbow. Oh, yeah.
All right, let's try.
This is not easy. This is why we do without the kettlebell to start, to fully understand what it is that you're doing here. That's it. And now slowly back down.
My right leg wants to come up off the ground.
Yeah. And you can sort of combine these two movements together. Start to come up onto your, yep. Curl up there. Really, a lot of this stuff is, at first, it feels difficult to do, not because it's a heavy weight, it's because you have to activate the muscles you're really working on the neurology of your body. You have to get the nervous system firing in the proper sequence. Activate the muscles properly.
Your body's not used to moving this way.
Right, which is unfortunate because this is the way your body, this is sort of the way your body is supposed to move. The Turkish Getup is a functional movement screen all in and of itself.
What happened just now is I moved my arm forward.
Yep. Exactly. Nicely done. All right, bring it back down. So my suggestion is practice this with a shoe. Use one that doesn't have dirt on the bottom of it because you'll get dirt in your eyes. You don't want to do that. So use a slipper maybe. Anyway, there's your first lesson and your homework with the Turkish Getup. Who do we have? Diane.
Claudia, oh, miss you. Love you. Darcy. Remy, Diane Worthington, Marissa. Hey, Marissa. Long time no see. Peter Gammo.
Remiglius.
Remiglius.
I've been seeing him on here a few times.
Cool. What a great name. Remiglius. Peter Gammo. Good to see you, Peter. I see you a lot on my Facebook and such. And we have on Instagram, wow, we have a lot of actually people on here.
Nice.
Joe.
Looks like we have a few here from India.
Yeah, so happy to have you here. But we do, David, just to give you an overview, and I say this every week, David is a certified kettlebell instructor.
RKC certified.
And so we come on 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday. And this week we're working on the Turkish Getup. We just learned the very first stages of that. And something interesting about the Turkish Getup that David taught me was, you know, when if you see a baby or somebody has a baby and they're so they're trying to get that baby to walk before they're crawling. Oh, it's like a big deal to have your baby walk at 8 months old or whatever it is. It's actually doing a detriment to the baby because you have to, as a child or a baby, you have to learn the first steps of rolling over and crawling in order for your body and your brain and your nervous system to develop in the correct way. Mm-hmm. So when you skip those steps, when you're making your baby walk before they've even crawled or done all those things, it's actually doing a detriment to the child's development because our bodies learn in that way. It's a whole development piece. I thought that was so interesting. So anyway.
All right. Well, we're a little late getting started on our workout. So let's go ahead and get started. Grab your bell. We're going to start with 20 swings to get warmed up. Put your feet on either side. Grab your bell. Seat your shoulders. Get your hips under it. Lift. Driving into the heels. And now swing.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
Now one-handed.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Switch hands.
6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Now alternate. 2, 7, 8, 9. Now bring it to the rack.
It's heavy for me.
You might want to switch
Yeah.
to this one. All right, we're going to do 10 swings to the rack. 1, 2. Keep your elbow tucked in. 6, 7, 8. Change hands. 1, 6, 7, 10. Change hands. Bring it to the rack again. Press it overhead. Return. Keep it right here. Press it overhead. 2, 3, 4. Use your hips. Just go back. Snap the hips, come on. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Change hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then set it down. All right.
And don't forget to breathe.
Yes,
So those of you who are sitting and watching us today, grab your kettlebells, join us. It's not going to do any good if you're sitting there. Go ahead and give it a try. If you don't have a kettlebell yet, you can get one at
You can get one at Walmart if you want. I don't recommend Walmart for them.
any sporting
Dick's Sporting Goods got some good kettlebells.
or online.
Online, go to Kettlebell Kings. They've got great kettlebells. Dragon Door, if you've got the money. They're very expensive, but they're very good kettlebells. All right, now we're going to move on to the snatch. One motion, snatch the kettlebell from the bottom all the way to the top. You're going to keep your elbow in tight. Spear your hand all the way straight up, pinky to the front.
Using your hips.
Using your hips. Here we go. And up. And to the bottom. 2. All the way to lockout. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. And change hands. 1, 2, 3, 7, 9, 10. Bring it to the right. Stepping forward with the opposite leg. Lunge. Come back. 2, 3, 4 to 10.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Change hands. Step with the opposite leg.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah. Okay, so last week we did an exercise called handle stand. We brought the kettlebell here. We're going to do that exercise, and we're going to combine it with our calf raise. And we're going to do a handle stand calf raise. You ready?
I think so. Can you show me the handstand?
Sure. You're going to grip the kettlebell.
Yep.
And swing it so the ball is going to be up.
Okay.
So, pick your kettlebell up, swing to a handle stand. Use the other hand to hold it if need be. Now, coming up, calf raise. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Set it down. Now, if you're looking back at people's calves, you see that there's 2 muscles, one on either side of the calf. It's actually one muscle with 2 heads called gastrocnemius. We're going to access the other head of that muscle by turning our feet out at 45 degrees. So instead of coming up straight, we're going to come up to the side. So pick the kettlebell up in the other hand, swing it to handle stand position with our feet everted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep your core tight. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Set it down. Nice. Okay. We're going to kick it up a notch. We're going to do another set of lunges, only 5 on each side, but we're going to do them in a pressed position. So with the kettlebell up, we're going to do our lunge. You can use that way if you want, or you can go to the small one.
I think this would be good.
Should be fine. Now the key is keep your elbow locked. Keep your shoulders seated. This is not an easy exercise if you don't have those. I mean, it's very difficult if those are not in place. Keep those in place, keep your form proper, and this won't be too bad. Okay. Bring your kettlebell up to the rack.
Press it overhead. Keep it pressed, stepping with the opposite leg. Lunge. And return. See how far your elbow bend? Take this hand and wrap it around. Keep it pulled to your ear. 2, 3, 4, 5. Pull it in. Continue. Press overhead. Step with the opposite leg. 1, 2, pull it in. Bring it down. Hold it with 2 hands. Okay, here we go.
Are we doing?
We're going to do some swings.
Okay.
All right, 75 swings. Here we go, folks. 10. 20. 30. 40. 50. 60. 70. 1, 2, 3, 4, 75.
Whew. Yeah.
Nicely done. Whew. Very nicely done.
Cardio in the booty. Oh, thank you so much for joining us today. We'll see you tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
We'll do the next pieces of the get up.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of those who are watching with us today and learning. Whew. Wow, that really gets the cardio going, right?
Yeah.
Take a deep breath in.
So that's one of the things about kettlebell. Because it's a cardio exercise during your strength training, you don't end up with lactic acid pain the next day. You're super oxygenating your body, keeping your body full of oxygen. You never run out. You never end up with that byproduct of anaerobic combustion, which is lactic acid. So
there you have it.
it's kind of a good way to do it if you want to work out every day.
Yeah, sending love, peace, joy, and happiness to all of those in the world who need it today. We love you. Thank you for your support. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow morning for kettlebell training. Bye-bye.